You didn't land here by accident. This moment, right now, is your confirmation. You've felt it, haven't you? That quiet stirring deep inside, telling you that something bigger is coming, that your time is near. Well, this is it. The universe is aligning, the heavens are shifting, and you're not just here to watch it happen. You're here to be part of it. Listen closely. You're not just anyone. You are part of the few, the rare, the chosen. And when you're chosen, life doesn't move the same for you. It accelerates, it transforms, it elevates. Over the next 3 days, what's coming your way is not normal. This is once-in-a-lifetime, history-shifting, heart-awakening energy. Miracles are on the move. Breakthroughs are being released. And you are standing at the gateway. But here's the truth. Only those who are ready will walk through. And if you're still here, still reading, still locked in, that means you're one of them. You're part of the 1% who are about to rise above everything that's ever tried to hold them back. So before we go any further, I want you to do 3 powerful things to seal this moment. Smash that like button to claim your place in this divine wave. Subscribe, because this community is about to explode, and you need to be part of it. Drop the number 55 in the comments. That's your signal to the universe that you're ready to receive. Get ready, because what's about to happen isn't small. It's going to shift everything. Let's step into it together. This is your time. Let's go. This is your moment. Hit subscribe now and step into something greater. Don't miss out. The air hums with an unseen energy, as if time itself is pausing to witness what is about to occur. A rare convergence is at hand, not born from chance, but carved from purpose, like a hidden code finally unlocking. In 3 days, existence will bend towards something extraordinary, shifting the course of those who've attuned their spirits to the subtle rhythm of higher calling. This isn't the echo of old tales or borrowed hope. It's the quiet uprising of a new chapter, pressing forward like dawn through dense mist. Barriers long thought immovable will melt away like frost under unexpected sunlight. Moments will unfold with the precision of an unseen architect, revealing paths that once seemed buried beneath doubt and delay. The transformation ahead isn't loud. It's seismic in silence, moving from within, touching each layer of life from the unseen to the tangible. It will stretch beyond logic, rewriting what once defined your limitations. This is not a pause, it's a passage, and as it approaches, the choice remains. Remain in the known, or walk willingly into the unshaped brilliance waiting just beyond the veil. The threshold of change is not stumbled upon. It calls to those who have quietly prepared, often without even knowing. A stretch of days, unlike any other, is unfolding, where time carries a different weight and everything begins to rearrange itself toward a higher design. The first of these days emerges not with noise, but with an invisible pull that sweeps through the soul like a tide undoing centuries of dust. This is the turning point where hidden burdens are uprooted and a stillness begins to echo with direction. Day 1 is not loud with signs, but unmistakable in its impact. It speaks in moments that reach beyond the surface, an intuitive nudge, a sudden shift in emotion, an inner clarity that pierces the fog. Uncertainty begins to evaporate, not through explanation, but through an inner knowing that settles deeper than logic. It's not about what happens outwardly, though there may be movement, but about what finally aligns within. The weight that once tangled thought and stalled action loosens its grip. This isn't the removal of obstacles by force, but by revelation. What seemed like confusion begins to reveal its hidden pattern, and fear loses its power as if a mirror has shattered. This beginning is not a conclusion, but an ignition, a new pace, a new breath. Confidence doesn't arrive like a trumpet blast, but rises slowly, like warmth through stone. Doubt, once persistent like background noise, fades, and in its place, vision, not a glimpse, but a full-bodied sense of being on the edge of something long awaited, and finally, fully ready. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. Imagine this. For years, you've been a lighthouse in the fog. Your light steady but unnoticed through the thickness of misunderstanding and delay. You kept shining even when no ships came. You stood tall even when the winds of rejection beat against your walls. But now, beloved, the fog is lifting. The ships are turning toward you. And suddenly, everyone can see what God already placed inside you. This second chapter in your divine journey is like the breaking of dawn after a long night. At first, the sky doesn't burst with light. It starts with a shift in hue, a soft glow on the horizon. It's gentle, almost quiet, but it grows. And as it grows, it changes everything it touches. That's what's happening to you right now. People who once passed you by with indifference are beginning to slow down. They're starting to notice, not because you've shouted louder, not because you've tried harder, but because heaven has adjusted their vision. The shift is spiritual before it's social. God has changed the atmosphere around you. He's placed favor on you like a fragrance that can't be ignored. And suddenly, doors that never opened before start to creak open on their own. Not out of luck, but out of divine timing. The soil has been watered, the roots have grown deep, and now it's harvest season. Today is woven with the thread of reconnection. Not recycled relationships, but redefined ones. The divine tailor is at work, stitching back what once unraveled. There are people who left your life, not because you failed, but because the timing wasn't right. And now, they're beginning to find their way back, not because they pity you, but because they see you. They see the grace on your life. They see the peace that surrounds you. They feel the pull of your calling. And like bees to nectar, they return, not just to observe, but to honor what they once overlooked. And let's talk about validation, because this isn't about ego, it's about identity. You don't need applause to know your worth, but even Jesus said a prophet is honored, eventually. What's happening now isn't about proving anyone wrong. It's about God proving himself right in your life. The people who once questioned you will have no choice but to witness the fruit, not because you fought for their approval, but because God's hand can't be denied. He's flipping the script. He's raising the volume on your influence without you having to beg for the mic. This is a divine unveiling. You're not just being seen, you're being revealed. Like treasure pulled from a field, like oil drawn from deep wells, your worth is being recognized because it's your season. And when it's your season, even the ones who turned their backs can't help but turn their heads. There will be whispers of reconciliation. Some may text, some may show up, some may simply smile a little longer when they see you. Don't harden your heart. Don't block the blessing because of old pain. This is not the past returning to repeat itself. This is the newness of restoration. What once felt broken beyond repair will start to mend without effort. Because that's what God does when He's in it. He doesn't glue it back, He remakes it. You're not arriving because you forced your way in. You're arriving because you stayed faithful when it would have been easier to quit. This isn't the result of strategy. This is the reward of surrender. No flashing lights, no announcements. Just the quiet realization that you have become the person God always knew you could be. And now, the world is catching up to what heaven already confirmed. So today, walk with your head high, not out of pride, but out of gratitude. The tide has shifted. The energy around you is changing. The rooms you once tiptoed into are now being rearranged for your entrance. Don't flinch. Don't shrink. Be present, because what's coming your way is not just for your elevation. It's to lift others through your story. You were never meant to stay hidden. You were built to shine. And the same God who placed the stars in the sky is now positioning you in front of those who once looked past you, not to show off, but to show who sent you. The next chapter is already being written in the heavens, and it has your name on it. The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of his bounty, to send rain on your land in season, and to bless all the work of your hands. Deuteronomy 28:12. Picture a field dry and cracked, passed over by season after season of drought. The ground hardened, the seeds buried deep inside, forgotten. But then, one morning, without warning, the sky opens. The first drops hit, and the earth begins to change. That's where you are now. The rain is falling, and the soil of your life is being softened by heaven's hand. What once looked barren is now being stirred with divine activity beneath the surface. And baby, something's about to grow. This final phase, it's not an ending. It's the birthing room of the life you've been carrying in quiet faith. You've labored in silence, waited with expectation, and now God is saying, push. What's coming forth is bigger than provision. It's purpose-funded, heaven-backed abundance. And this isn't just about survival anymore. This is overflow. This is restoration with interest. Money, ideas, favor. It's all shifting into motion. And here's the thing. It won't make sense to the world. It'll come through channels you didn't see coming, from directions you stopped checking. God doesn't bless by formula. He blesses by favor. And favor is showing up with your name on it. This moment marks the clearing. The fog is lifting. The road is opening. New instructions are being handed to you like blueprints hot off the press. Things that once scared you now feel doable. Dreams that felt too expensive now feel like divine assignments. The energy is different. You're not striving, you're receiving. And everything that once felt delayed, it's about to show up on time. Listen, this isn't the time to tiptoe. This is the time to move with intention. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to respond when the door opens. Don't second-guess what's being handed to you. Don't apologize for the blessings coming your way. You've sown in tears. You've waited in stillness. And now you reap in joy. Prosperity is not the reward, it's the tool. You're being equipped for expansion, positioned for impact. God's not just blessing your bank account, He's building your legacy. So don't shrink, don't stall, stand tall, because the foundation is set and heaven is laying bricks. Your structure is rising. The ones who sense shifts before they're visible are often those most in tune with the rhythm of what's coming. In the quietest hours before light breaks the sky, a rare alignment occurs, a thinning between the seen and the unseen. During these fleeting moments, intention carries unmatched weight, and declarations whispered into stillness take root faster than in any other time. This sacred pause before the world stirs holds a power not found in noise, but in presence. For the next 3 days, returning to this space with consistency becomes a catalyst for acceleration. The divine does not shout, but in silence, it responds quickly and clearly. Every motion made in trust during this window becomes a key. Each word of thanks, Each plea for guidance, each act of belief etched into the silence is met with divine momentum. These days are not random. They are an orchestration of timing, inviting you to step into alignment rather than wait for proof. Here, in these early, still hours, breakthroughs stir beneath the surface, ready to emerge not just as hope, but as manifestation. The shift is not external first. It begins in the core, where intention becomes direction, and trust births clarity. This brief but potent span is more than symbolic. It is a rare crossing, a current of favor moving with intention toward those ready to receive without resistance. It marks the unfolding of something ancient yet new, an invitation written into time itself. The convergence of divine purpose and human readiness has formed a path, unique and unrepeatable. It leads toward healing, expansion, connection, and grounded success. What awaits isn't abstract. It is rooted in real transformation. To walk this path is to leave behind hesitation and to walk forward with an open spirit into the brilliance that's been waiting to be claimed. This is your moment. Hit subscribe now and step into something greater. Don't miss out. Not everyone recognizes when the atmosphere begins to shift, but those who do are already halfway through the door. A pivotal threshold is unfolding, one that doesn't merely invite change, but demands full embodiment of what is waiting to emerge. What stands ahead is not a modification of your current life. It's the construction of something entirely new, built from the foundation of purpose. The next few moments, brief as they may seem, carry the weight of years of unseen preparation, now aligning in real time. These approaching days are charged not with idle waiting, but with active readiness. As the fabric of reality begins to loosen, something precise is being woven in its place, crafted not randomly, but with deep intention. What rises in this space is designed for your exact evolution. A sequence has begun to unfold, one initiated long before you had the language to describe what you've been longing for. This isn't just transition, it's emergence. The unseen gears of destiny are clicking into place. There's a question now resting heavily in the air. Will the moment be met with courage or with hesitation? When the unfamiliar calls, will the response be rooted in boldness or in delay? Every action now becomes part of the blueprint for the next chapter. The countdown isn't ticking down to a finish, but to an unveiling. The unfolding requires presence, clarity, and the will to release what no longer fits the framework of the life that's arriving. This window is rare, not due to chance, but because of how precisely it's been formed. The opening ahead is sculpted for expansion. What's coming won't resemble past victories or past pain. It will eclipse them entirely. The elevation set in motion now reaches across every part of your life, not in fragments, but as a unified wave. This isn't about hoping for change. It is about stepping fully into it. A new season is beginning, not because time demands it, but because purpose has made room. The only question that remains is how fully you'll walk into the brilliance that's been made just for you. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Isaiah 43:19. Picture a hallway lit only by the faintest glimmer under a door. For years, you've walked that hallway with no map, no guarantee, only the whisper of something more calling you forward. You didn't get here by accident. You were drawn by faith, step by step, even when the light didn't follow your feet. And now, the door is creaking open. The light is spilling out. What's on the other side? Not more of the same, not a repeat of the past, This, beloved, is the start of everything different. Few ever arrive here, because this kind of moment doesn't knock for just anyone. It calls to those who stayed rooted when the winds tried to shake them. It shows up for those who chose to dig deep when everything in them wanted to run. This isn't the result of luck. This is the reward for spiritual stamina, for showing up when nothing changed, for praying when it felt like no one was listening, for holding on when you had every reason to let go. You've reached a divine threshold, not one built by man, but carved by your preparation and heaven's perfect timing. This isn't just transition, it's transfiguration. What's forming now can't be undone. What's rising now will define you. This is not just the next chapter. This is the moment when the book flips, the ink changes, and the story starts writing you. But let me tell you plain, it's not crowded here. This path, it narrows, because not everyone is willing to carry the kind of internal transformation this level of destiny requires. The world will look for the noise, the platform, the spotlight. But this is about the soul. It's about the ones who stayed in the quiet, who kept showing up when no one was watching. The ones who didn't chase approval. They chased alignment. And now, heaven is responding. And the question now is simple. Will you step into it? Or will you shrink back when the moment demands your full becoming? This moment will not ask you to perform. It will ask you to align, to let go of every thought, every belief, every fear that doesn't match the vibration of the future God has already prepared for you. Because the door won't open to old mindsets. It won't swing wide to fear. It responds to faith. And not loud, performative faith, but that quiet, anchored kind. The kind that says, even now, I believe. It's not about looking ready, it's about being ready. And readiness lives in your spirit, not your schedule. You don't have to have it all together, but you do have to be willing. Willing to drop the weight, willing to walk through the unfamiliar, willing to trust that if God brought you this far, He didn't bring you here to abandon you. He brought you here to launch you. Let's be real. This next part won't look like what you've known. The old structure won't hold the new weight. The former version of you doesn't fit the new space. That's why there's been so much stripping, so much silence, so much pruning. Not to punish, but to prepare. You weren't being delayed, you were being designed. The blueprint is in your spirit now, and everything around you is starting to respond. The right people, the right opportunities, the right resources. They're not stumbling into your life. They're being magnetized to the version of you that chose faith over fear. What looked impossible a season ago is now forming with clarity. And you feel it. You can't quite explain it, but you know the wind has shifted. And so this is it, the invitation. Not in thunder, but in truth. The moment that calls for more than your belief. It calls for your response. You've crossed the line where waiting ends and walking begins. No more rehearsing. No more delaying. The future is not coming, it's here. Walk into it. Boldly, bravely, completely. The doorway is open, and it's your name that's been written above it all along. Not everyone is built to remain in the background. Some are carved from something rarer, meant not to follow the rhythm of the crowd, but to rise above it with purpose. When the moment of divine elevation arrives, it doesn't whisper. It stirs the atmosphere, shifts perceptions, and places you where you were always destined to be, in alignment with the magnitude of your calling. This is the emergence of true identity, unapologetic, refined through trial, and unmistakably radiant in its timing. The lift will not go unnoticed. Those who once glanced past you will begin to pause. Something in the way you move, speak, and carry your presence will feel different, anchored, bold, undeniable. The internal work that was once hidden begins to show in visible transformation. This isn't a quiet nudge, it's a marked rise. The tide has shifted, and with it, the eyes and ears of those around you are being recalibrated to recognize what they once dismissed. The light you carry will no longer be dimmed. It will demand space, and it will shift rooms. But elevation is never just for the individual. It is designed to reverberate outward. As your story begins to unfold with more power, others will feel it as an invitation. The same way seeds respond to light, those around you will begin to reach toward their own possibilities. What's rising in your life now will ripple through families, circles, and entire communities. What once felt stuck will begin to move. Hearts, once closed, will open. And those who doubted your journey may now become the very ones who amplify it. This turn will be rapid and surprising, not out of chance, but because a divine sequence has been activated. Those who once resisted may now extend support, unprovoked. What looked like resistance will transform into collaboration. But as this change unfolds, the call remains: walk in integrity, stay grounded in humility. Recognition must not inflate the ego, it must expand the spirit. These shifts are sacred, and their purpose is deeper than acclaim. They are evidence that your faith, your stillness, and your growth have summoned something holy. Watch closely. The impossible is making its entrance, and it has your name written into its design. This is your moment. Hit subscribe now and step into something greater. Don't miss out. Only a few are truly prepared when the ground begins to shift beneath them, not in fear, but in faith, knowing something greater is taking form. What is approaching is not a minor increase, but a complete reconstruction of how abundance flows into your life. A financial renewal is at hand, not built solely on gain, but on alignment, where your purpose and provision finally begin to move in unison. This transformation won't mimic anything you've experienced before. It will surpass the framework of previous expectations. New streams of provision are forming, some through bold decisions, others through quiet surprises. What once felt blocked now begins to move, not just because of effort, but because of timing, meeting readiness. The shift may come in unfamiliar packaging, fresh ventures, unexplored paths, or even a deeper understanding of your own value. Doors once locked will yield. Resources that once seemed distant will become accessible. This isn't just about receiving more, it's about becoming someone capable of holding more, with wisdom and clarity. Now comes the call to step fully into what has already been set in motion. The final invitation doesn't shout, it stands silently, waiting for your full presence. There is no delay left to justify, no hesitation left to entertain. The unfolding ahead is for those willing to say yes with their entire being. The reality you've been sensing, the future you've prayed for, it is no longer a distant dream, but a living opportunity. Every moment from this point forward has the potential to shape your trajectory in irreversible ways. To hesitate now would be to close the door on a rare alignment, one where divine rhythm meets human readiness. This isn't about chance, it's about recognition. Recognizing that the shift has already begun, and your part in it is no longer to hope, but to move. Let go of all that stalls your spirit. Make space. The transformation is not coming. It is already here, and the next step is yours to take.